Good evening. I am Dr. Srishendu Pal, consultant physician, Siliguri. Our topic of discussion today is hypertension or high blood pressure. What is blood pressure, first of all? When heart contracts, it pumps blood into the arteries, and this pumping of blood causes a pressure on the walls of the arteries, and this is blood pressure. Whenever the pressure rises more than normal limits, it is called hypertension, specifically when the blood pressure remains high for a major part of the day. We should always remember that the blood pressure is never static. It rises or falls throughout the day, but if it remains high for a major part of the day, then we say that the patient is suffering from high blood pressure. Now, what is normal blood pressure? In our country, or for that matter of the entire world, various guidelines have been put forward by our national team, the national guidelines. Also, we have the international guidelines which say that the optimal blood pressure is 120 by 80 millimeters of mercury. Anyone having blood pressure 140 by 90 or more has been traditionally called as hypertensive, but these ideas have been modified as per the 2017 ADA guidelines, which state that anything above 130 by 80 millimeters of mercury, especially in the background of risk factors, should be considered as hypertensive. Now, what are these two numbers? The upper one is the systolic blood pressure. What does it denote? It denotes the pressure exerted by the heart when it contracts, and the blood pressure that is recorded when the heart contracts is known as the systolic blood pressure, and the cardiac output of the heart contributes maximum to this systolic blood pressure. What is the other number? That is the lower number. It is the diastolic blood pressure. The diastolic blood pressure is the blood pressure recorded when the heart relaxes between the beats, and this diastolic blood pressure is mainly contributed by the peripheral resistance of the vessels. What are the risk factors for blood pressure? Why do people suffer from blood pressure? We should always remember, for patients aged 60 or more, almost 50% of the population suffer from blood pressure. And why is it so? There are a number of risk factors. First of all, the age. As age advances, the walls of the arteries stiffen, and this causes rise in blood pressure. Next comes our genes. Blood pressure is usually transmitted across families, and if both the parents are hypertensive, there is a very high chance of hypertension in the offspring. And it is to be noted that the offspring suffers from this increased blood pressure 10 to 15 years younger than his parents. Other risk factors include a high sodium diet. We Indians especially take a lot of salt in our diet, and these sodium can retain water with it in the body, causing rise of blood pressure. Also, less potassium in the body leads to increase in blood pressure. We know potassium relaxes the blood vessels, and any absence of these potassium or reduction in these potassium levels can cause rise in blood pressure. Other factors are also there. We should not forget smoking. Smoking leads to increase in LDL levels with a reduction in the HDL levels, and this can cause rise in blood pressure. Increased amount of fats in our diet can lead to very high LDL levels, and these LDL can be distributed or deposited along the walls of the blood vessels, leading to stiffening of the blood vessels, causing rise in blood pressure. We should also not forget the stress factor. Stress causes rise in blood pressure. Why? Because it has been seen that prolonged stress can lead to rise in LDL levels and a fall in HDL levels, which leads to hypertension. Besides stress, lack of physical activity may also contribute to blood pressure. Lack of physical activity leads to obesity, which increases the resistance of the vessels, also leads to visceral fat deposition, and these may lead to high blood pressure. Now, what should you do if you get a patient of high blood pressure? First of all, we should remember that there should be self-monitoring of blood pressure. A patient should monitor his blood pressure regularly to keep his blood pressure in check. The medicines prescribed by the doctor should be taken, and he should not stop taking medicines without the advice of the doctor. Self-monitoring holds the key. For doctors, management of blood pressure would mean first lifestyle modification and next medicines. For lifestyle modification, he should quit smoking. We know an average cigarette can reduce the lifespan by 5 minutes. So, each patient should be advised to quit smoking, and is the first modifiable risk factor. Regarding diet, we should take a low sodium diet. Ideal sodium intake should be around 1.5 grams per day, but perhaps for the Indian population, we may limit up to 2.3 grams per day. We know a level spoon of salt contains about 2.3 milligram of sodium, and patients should adhere to that. Other dietary modifications include taking lots of fruits and vegetables. Increased fruits and vegetables lead to increased potassium intake, and as we all know, potassium relaxes the blood vessels and helps to reduce the blood pressure. Food levels to be studied by all persons, and once we check the food levels, we should also avoid taking fried foods, especially those having trans fats. Increased amounts of unsaturated fats may be taken through nuts or fruits or vegetables. Saturated fats should be avoided. For example, red meat, egg yolk, prawns, etc. Taking a lot of vegetables also helps in increasing the fiber. Oats also increases the fiber content of the food, and increased fiber content reduces cholesterol, also reduces the blood pressure. And then we come to physical activity. Ideally, each person should exercise around 150 minutes of moderate exercise, moderate aerobic exercises, minimum 30 minutes per day for 5 times a week, and he can also do it through brisk walking or cycling or swimming as he deems fit. Stress may be managed through adequate sleep, listening to music, or meditation. And last but not the least, each patient should be advised that he should take all his medications, including those for hypertension and cholesterol or other medications prescribed by the doctor, and have his blood pressure checked regularly to avoid the pitfalls of hypertension. We all know hypertension is a silent killer, and if not managed properly, it can lead to heart attack, strokes, or kidney failure in the long run. And if managed well, these diseases can be delayed if not denied. Hypertension remains the number one non-communicable disease of the world today, and perhaps prevention is the best medicine. We all know prevention is better than cure, and it will help us to control hypertension in the long run. Thank you.